Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I'm honored to be having with me over the program for tonight Mr. Ahmed Khattab, the economic expert and the member of the Egyptian-Canadian Council. Thank you very much once again for being with us tonight. We have seen over the past report the ambition of Egypt to be having a target of 15% more of the foreign direct investments into the country by the upcoming fiscal year 2024-2025. How do you think this is possible?
It's possible 100%. Why? Possible because a lot of foreign investment will come in Egypt in many different fields. In the field of agriculture, the field of healthcare, in the field of manufacturing, the field of renewable energy and recycle, also the field of textile. Car industry will be one of the main projects will enter into Egypt. Pharmaceutical industry, petrochemical industry. Egypt, by the way, export of petrochemical industry increased by 20% last years, and this is a very effective role of petrochemical industry. Why petrochemical? Because we have already liquid gas from Benban and Zohr also offshore, and a lot of recovery of liquid gas also will take place starting from 2025. Petroleum sector will be also added value. I think the tourist sector will be add value to bring more foreign direct investments, especially in Ras Al Hikma and in Hurghada and Sharm el Sheikh, also and Red Sea, Gona, for example. And we have a very great plan in the field of agriculture and the plantation and declimation of land in Egypt, especially in North Costa and in Upper Egypt and in Sinai and in Wadi Gidid especially. So Egypt take up by a lot of many different pillars in order to be more add value in the field of foreign direct investment, and a lot of amendment related to the economic will take place, and the investment law facilitates the process of attracting more foreign investment, especially from Saudi Arabia and from United Arab Emirates. And we aim more from African countries, especially. Why African country? Because all African country will be a growing country, and the reserve of raw material in Africa will equate it in Africa especially. And also we have already a lot of agreement with USA and Europe and French and key countries in the world like China and India and Russia and Ukraine also. So in the coming 5 years, a lot of foreign direct investment will bring to Egypt in order to take the vision of 2030. And Egypt is an open market to all over the world to become and invest in Egypt. And because we spend more and more in infrastructure and in logistics field. So once we spend more, we will be key country in Middle East and North Africa, and we already have new Suez Canal corridor, and the Suez Canal logistics area will facilitate the trade between Egypt and Africa and the Middle East and the GCC especially, and will make export of liquid gas through tubes to Europe in the coming 5 years especially. Once we have more stability in the crisis related to the war between Israel and Gaza and Lebanon and Iran, the growing rate of the Egyptian economy will take up, and it is starting and raised by at least 7% in the year. Yeah. Once the Middle East will be more settled and more stable, and I think the new elected president of USA will take this decision as a first decision, and all of us ask the international community and the world to stop war in Middle East in order to have a surplus in our economy. But Egypt as a key country is safe 100% and open market for more foreign direct investment.
Outside from the challenges that we can see nowadays, more specifically the Russian-Ukrainian conflict and the aggression by Israel against the Gaza Strip and the West Bank and Palestine in general, how do you see the obstacles that are facing the ambitions and the targets of Egypt to be having 15% more an increase of the foreign direct investments into the country by the upcoming year and a half?
Our first Prime Minister, Dr. Mohamed Bouli, working together with the cabinet member in order to make the atmosphere of Egypt as open investment. It was a lot of international and direct investment more stable. So our government all time send a positive message about the Egyptian economy, and also International Monetary Fund and the Standard and Poor and the Fitch. All the international institutions send a positive report about the Egyptian economy is more stable. Our reserve in foreign currency in Egyptian Central Bank more stable and enough to cover more than 8 months import of strategic goods and services from abroad, and this is a good position, a stable position. Growing rate is still positive, even we face a corona pandemic and also Russian-Ukrainian crisis and Israeli crisis, but still we have a positive growing rate, and also Egyptian working abroad transfers saving amounts by US dollars or euro to Egypt increase year by year, and this is also supports the Egyptian economy. Income from the tourist sector is increased year by year, and this is also a positive indicator. A lot of industries take place in Egypt, even because we have already a stable political and economic situation. Governmental banking sector and the private banking sector working together in order to support the company by loans, by very low interest or acceptance interest. Our project in real estate take place in New Capital Minister City and the New Amin City and Ras Al Hikma City, yes, with cooperation with United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabian key company in the same field, and also a lot of operation outside the Egypt take place, especially in Africa, by Egyptian company. This will be add and send a positive message about how the Egyptian economy is really stable and will be attractive in the future.
Yes, and finally, Mr. Ahmed, you mentioned the important bilateral ties between Egypt and the GCC countries, the Gulf Cooperation Council, and more specifically, more recently, we have seen the visit made by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed ibn Salman, and we have seen the investment of the United Arab Emirates through the President of the United Arab Emirates, and the recent visit we have seen at Ras Al Hikma, for example. How do you see the importance of the bilateral ties between Egypt and the GCC countries in terms of the economic conditions and the foreign direct investments?
So, the very solid and very strong relation between Egypt and GCC country were reflected positively to the Egyptian economy 100%, especially with Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates and also Qatar and Kuwait. A lot of this key country in the GCC have a lot of agreement in the field of real estate, in the field of manufacturing, in the field of petroleum recovery also, and in the field of petrochemical, so, and the field of agriculture. A lot of this country also were working together in the field of agriculture with Egypt. Yes. And the last visit of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to Egypt, a lot of approval and agreement between Egypt and Saudi Arabia, it's estimated by 13 13 billion US dollars, and this is a huge amount. And Ras Al Hikma deal by 35 USD billions dollars. Yes. So such a great foreign direct investment to Egypt will be add value to the Egypt economy, and also Saudi Arabia tomorrow will hosting a future initiative institute conference in order to encourage investment in Saudi Arabia and encourage investment of Saudi Arabia also in other countries, and especially Egypt. And this such a forum and such a lot and the conference were reflected to the GCC and were reflected positively to the Arab country. Egypt working with Arab country as a leader country in Middle East and in Gulf and in GCC and in Africa. So once we have a surplus and we have a good news about the economy of Saudi Arabia, of Arab Emirates, this is will reflect positively to Egypt. Why? Because a lot of Egyptian citizens work in Saudi Arabia and work in United Arab Emirates. So yes, if the progress take place in Saudi Arabia, it reflected to positively to our employee in Saudi Arabia, and this the transfer of Egyptian working abroad in Saudi Arabia to Egypt will increase, and also the success in the any field in Saudi Arabia were reflected positively to Egypt, because a lot of Egyptian businessmen and Saudi businessmen have agreement to work together, and we have a cooperation and partnership with Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, especially in the field of industry and the field of plantation and acquisition of land and field of real estate. So all this new positive news were reflected 100% positively to the Arab country in the region.
Yes, Mr. Ahmed Khattab, the economic expert and the member of the Egyptian-Canadian Council. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Thank you.
And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching and goodbye.